Michèle Danjoux. I'm a fashion designer. I work at University where I run a small MA fashion bodywear program, and I'm also co-director of that lab in London. My work is about wearables and performance. I'm interested in how we clothe the body in performance and how the garment may integrate aspects of wearable technologies, how those technologies then might enable the dancer to interface with the environment, producing sonic or visual output. Thinking also about the visual dimension of the costume on the performer, and also the tactility of the costume is very important to me. I'm very interested presently in whether there's any choreographic dimension to the design of the garments that I produce. So do they impact in any way on the dancer's movements, whether it's through restriction or through enabling mobility of a certain type, thinking of Laban, for instance, and the cinesfera of a dancer, whether through adding to a dancer, offering some form of prosthesis, whether this is to do with the wearable technology, to do with the form of the garment, can enable the dancer to have a greater reach into the performance space. It's very interesting to look back and to really consider where this idea of wearable technology, particularly in dance and performance, began. So my interest isn't so much in the commercial realm and in wearables that maybe we can use in sport or fitness or in monitoring our body data for more functional purposes. It's much more about the artistic use of wearables and technology. And in my search back, I've been particularly looking at the body in the 20th and 21st century, and we've gone as far back as the early part of the 20th century, where I found really interesting examples of a dancer called Fuller, and she was working with light and she was working with costume, and the costume was impacting on her body. I also found really interesting examples of bodies and technologies in music coming into more recent times. So looking at Benoit Mowbray, for instance, who began this exploration of technologies worn on the body in connection with sound and music in the 1980s, when he would integrate large speakers into the back of suits. And this kind of progressed into other experiments, and his audio ballerinas who wore these perspex tutu shapes with integrated speakers and some way of sampling sounds in the environment and re-emitting the sounds into space.